Oh my God. You gotta chill it. Now, I think it's very important to realize that Kyagulanyi Sentamu, you know, one of the most vocal opposition politicians in Uganda, a couple of European philosophers put forward centuries ago. And this, what I'm trying to point out here um, is the ideas of Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Jean Locke in his second treatise of government. They discussed something that actually supports what Kyagulanyi and those in the movement that people have referred to as the people power movement as something just. Why am I saying this? Let's first read what actually Rousseau and Jean Locke put across that we can learn from and related to what happened in Uganda recently. Um, it says, according to the social contract theory, when the government fails to secure natural rights, that's according to Locke, or satisfy the best interest of the society, what Rousseau calls um, Rousseau calls the general will, citizens can withdraw their obligations to obey or change the leadership through elections. Leadership through elections or other means. Through elections or other means. Now, first of all, the Kyagulanyi and his supporters of the people power respected the idea that they have to go through elections. And now President Museveni, who was threatened by the winnings, it was like I used to say, hey, so much winning, when he saw that the Kyagulanyi and his people power movement was winning some of the constituencies, he was threatened. And the reason why he was threatened is Uganda, without a doubt, and I can actually have a discussion with those that want this discussion to be a more sensitive one, that actually um, um, Uganda is one of the countries that is moving faster towards democracy. I'm not saying Uganda is democratic right now because of what's going on, the crackdown on opposition, the arrest of opposition leaders, arresting of members of the press, which is not a cool thing for a country that is developing, whose economy was actually um, seeming to be doing well for a couple of years ago. Um, but because the president that is in power is not really people having respected the constitution and Museveni being threatened with what was happening, what he decided to do is to keep closer to every constituency where the people power under Robert Kyagulanyi was doing the elections to support his leaders as well. He was charged with very wrong charges. He was put on wrong charges, possession of firearms. But this, even if you are dreaming, you might believe this, but that's not true. Kyagulanyi did not own any firearms. That's total bullshit. That I think Ugandans should look at closely, and it's not something true, of course. Can argue that. After that having failed, now the General Court Martial did not have enough evidence to charge him with this check that they had placed on him. The puppet court in Gulu decided to step in on behalf of the president and charged him with treason. But now let me ask, when he charged Kyagulanyi with treason, someone who respects the will of the people, he says, let's go for elections. Um, After going for elections, you make him fail. You impose terrible charges on him on things he did not really do. You don't stop there. You claim that the presidential motorcade came under attack. They broke the front, actually the rear window. of his car. What you're trying to what we should be discussing right now is what's the relationship between attacking a presidential motorcade and treason? Because in actual sense, treason is the act of betraying one's own country. I don't know how that correlates to maybe killing or struggling to overthrow a government. I don't know. Those are two different things. So, if people are planning to remove Museveni from power, that becomes treason. He has charged several other members of the opposition, including Kizza Besigye, with the same charges, treason. And I don't know. Of course, once you're charged with treason, you only have to face death according to the constitution of Uganda. So people were frightened. They're like, okay, so Kyagulanyi is going to die. What's going on, folks? The president should not play tricks on Ugandans. I think Ugandans are smart enough. They are struggling to see if the country can move towards the platform of democracy. The press has to be free. The opposition has to be free. People have to express themselves openly. Things of, policing the state like in Rwanda should never happen in Uganda. President Museveni should not think he's the strongest. We've had the Gaddafis on the continent, and they've all perished. He was never stronger like Gaddafi. Gaddafi had over 144 fighter jets, but when NATO came, things ended in a worse situation. I'm a Pan-Africanist. I'm not in support of Gaddafi's death or the military insurgency that went to topple him in Libya, because right now what's happening in Libya is totally terrible. The sale of human beings to a failed state, no unified government, militarization. It's going through very difficult moments right now. So that's when, at some point, we should weigh between dictators and leaders of Jamahiriyas or embracing democracy. People over the past have tried all forms of governments. People have tried democracy, people have tried theocracy, people have tried um, other forms of government that includes the kind of democracy that people are yearning for. And what I can say is the best government up to now still remains theocracy. Democracy. Theocracy in Iran has not, it's not really productive. It's not really showing any good sense. But at least we see democracy in countries in Europe, in the United States, and I think it seems to be working because people are free, first of all, to operate in the economy. Very few, there is a very limited control over the economy with the government. People are free to express themselves, and elections, to some extent, free and fair. If we don't include things like uh, the arrest of, the involvement of Russia in the U.S. economy, in U.S. elections, which actually threatens the president and his cabinet up to date. So the thing is, Ugandans who are struggling to move their country towards democracy should never get tired. I've said this. Kyagulanyi is supported by the social contract theory, is supported by the ideas of John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who were great philosophers of Europe in the past centuries. So the thing is, once the president does not address the concerns of the society, then of course the society reserves the right, either through elections or by any means, to overthrow that leader and replace the leader with someone who is going to address their concerns. So I think what's happening in Uganda right now is President Museveni has overstayed in power. The economy is collapsing every day. Um, um, of course, there is need for change. I mean, this has been the president in power since 1986. He came as a liberator. We expected things to change, but it's like this history is repeating itself. What was happening during the regime of Amin and Obote is what is happening in Museveni's regime right now. So there are a lot of things that we can discuss, but the point is, Uganda should never be tired of the struggle. President Museveni must accept that the constitution is supreme and has to be respected, and he has to leave power for somebody else. And that's where the point is. But should Ugandans stop joining hands together, as Dr. Kano Kizabesiji has put it forward, then there is no future for that country. You should fight this. The war has to continue. It should never stop. It should be endless, you know? So, I mean, subscribe to my channel, Ushu Mukelo, the son of the Congolese people. Subscribe down there. Subscribe there, and I'll continue to make more videos. Leave your comments. Should they be good or bad? I can bring them back for another discussion. Um, we'll see from there. But of course, you should know that our friend Robert Kyagulanyi, a Pan-Africanist, the true son of Uganda, his intentions are supported by really great minds of European continent, and his ideas is something Ugandans should embrace. President Museveni must go, irrespective of what Omuzukulu Bebekolo is saying. Um, Ugandans want change. Their children born and they've just been raised through that kind of one presidency, and they want to see a new mind comes to that presidency, because the presidency belongs to Ugandans. It does not belong to President Museveni. All right, please subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and drop your comments there. I'll be more than happy to come back and discuss more in details if there is anything that wasn't clear. And it's the son of the continent. I'm a Pan-Africanist. I'm from Congo. I want to see you subscribe, so you know what I mean. Like, we can build up the channel. We can have more discussions more frequently, and whatever.